Good morning, Pastor Ron Jetter, Immanuel Lutheran Church, Grandview, Washington, Thursday, the 17th of September, 2020. Kind of feels like my hair is just the wrong length. I wash it and it just doesn't seem to want to stay down. And getting out for things like barbers has been a little difficult during this time. Getting out to do gardening and mowing the lawn has been very difficult the last week and a half with the air quality, but finally it looks like things are going to be coming in the right direction. We might get some sun today, a little bit of wind to blow that smoke out. The numbers appear to be coming in the right direction. We've been watching COVID numbers, hoping those go in the right direction, and all of a sudden they kind of get overshadowed by all this smoke and the hazardous air. Yesterday, the forecast was for 88. It didn't get anywhere near that with all the smoke in the air. Today, forecast is for 85. We may actually see that. And there's, according to my weather app on my phone, 3% chance of precipitation tomorrow. 3%, that's not much. But it means there might be enough humidity in the air for some of those air particles of the smoke to attach to and fall out of the air. Anyway, it does feel like finally we're seeing a light, not so much at the end of the tunnel, but a light in the middle of the day. Okay, when last we left Joseph and his brothers in the 42nd chapter of the book of Genesis, yes, sorry about that, Reuben had told his brothers, this is what I told you. We should not have messed with Joseph. We should have not have sold him into slavery, and now we don't know if he's dead or not. But Joseph picked out Simeon, Reuben and Simeon, the oldest of the brothers, oldest and supposedly wisest. But Joseph decides, okay, Simeon. Because when he's thinking, I've got to have a brother as a hostage, I'll send the others back with grain, but I got to keep one as a hostage. One that they will definitely want to come back for. And they have to bring Benjamin because I want to see my little brother. I miss him. So part of Joseph is happy to see these brothers that he grew up with. And part of them is angry, knowing that this is his time for revenge. And part of him also knows that this is all part of the plan of God, that all of this has been part of a much, much larger picture for the shaping of the children of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, who became Israel. Verse 26, chapter 42. They loaded their donkeys with grain and departed. When one of them opened his sack to give his donkey fodder at the lodging place, he saw his money at the top of the sack. So we were told in verse 25 that he had given the money back, but they didn't yet know it. So they're already on their way back. They stopped for the first feeding for the night. He said to his brothers, my money is put back here. Here it is in my sack. After this, they lost heart and turned trembling to one another, saying, what is this God has done to us? So here this man in Egypt, this governor of Egypt, who is their brother, but they don't know it, is toying with them, giving them grain and supplies to return for their journey, but giving it for free. Nobody does that. So it's a blessing. But he has said, your brother Simeon will remain behind, and you must come back and bring your brother Benjamin. Otherwise, I will believe that you are lying, and Simeon's life is forfeit. So what do? They loaded their donkeys, of course, and headed off the next day. Came to their father in the land of Canaan, told him all that had happened, saying, the Lord of the land spoke harshly to us, charged with spying. We said to him, we're honest men, we're not spies. We're 12 brothers, sons of our father. One is no more, and the youngest is now with our father in the land of Canaan. The Lord of the land said, by this I shall know that you are honest men. Leave one of your brothers, take grain for the famine of your household, and go your way. Bring your youngest brother to me. I will know that you are not spies. Then I'll release your brother to you, and you may trade in the land. So he returned their money as if to say, I'm going to give you enough grain to keep you alive, but your money's no good here. And don't bring your money back here and do anything until you prove you're not spies. So he gave their money back, not to be generous, but to say, I don't want your money. I don't need your money. You're not allowed to come back here without your youngest brother. Then you can bring your money and trade. Until then, all I'm doing is keeping you alive for a while. That's it. So now they have to decide what to do. As they were emptying their sacks, there in each one's sack was his bag of money. When they and their father saw the bundles of money, they were dismayed. And their father Jacob said to them, I am the one you have bereaved of children. Joseph is no more. Simeon is no more. And now you would take Benjamin. All this has happened to me. Reuben said to his father, you may kill my 2 sons if I do not bring him back to you. Put him in my hands, and I will bring him back to you. But he said, my son shall not go down with you, for his brother is dead. He alone is left, meaning he alone of Rachel's 2. If harm should come to him on the journey that you are to make, you would bring down my gray hairs with sorrow to Sheol. So Israel says to his sons, no, better that Simeon's life be forfeit. I'm down to 10 sons now. Oh well, I will not risk Benjamin's life. Joseph is lost to me. Now Simeon is lost to me. And they have enough grain for a while. But we know Joseph didn't send enough grain. Chapter 43, the story continues. Now the famine was severe in the land, and when they had eaten up all the grain that they had brought from Egypt, their father said, go again and buy us a little more food. But Judah said to him, the man solemnly warned us, saying, you shall not see my face unless your brother is with you. If you will send our brother with us, we will go down and buy you food. If you will not send him, we will not go down. For the man said, you shall not see my face unless your brother is with you. Israel said, why did you treat me so badly as to tell me that you had another brother? Tell the man that you had another brother. They replied, the man questioned us carefully about ourselves and our kindred, saying, is your father still alive? Have you another brother? What we told him was in answer to these questions. Could we in any way know that he would say, bring your brother down? Then Judah said to his father Israel, send the boy with me, and let us be on our way, that we may live, not die, you and we, and also all our little ones. Myself will be surety for him. You can hold me accountable. If I do not bring him back to you and set him before you, let me bear the blame forever. If we had not delayed, we would not now have returned twice. So Judah is the one who says, I've got to go. And just knowing that Judaism, Judahite, or Jew is the remnant that survives to this day, 3,600 years later, we know from historical perspective that Judah would be safe, that Judah was safe. They didn't know that at the time, although at the time this was written, they obviously already knew the outcome of the story, because this was written down hundreds of years later. It was oral tradition at the time, and then kept and told, and then finally written down many, many years later. Verse 11, their father Israel said to them, if it must be so, then do this. Take some of the choice fruits of the land in your bags and carry them down as a present to the man, a little balm, a little honey, gum, resin, pistachio nuts, and almonds. Take double the money with you. Carry back with you the money that was returned in the top of your sacks. Perhaps it was an oversight. Take your brother also and be on your way again to the man. May God Almighty grant you mercy before the man, so that he may send back your brother and Benjamin. As for me, I am bereaved from my children. I am bereaved. So the men took the presents and took double the money with them, as well as Benjamin. And they went back on their way down to Egypt and stood before Joseph. So it isn't just the one. It wasn't just Judah. It wasn't just Reuben that went back to retrieve Simeon and get more grain. It was all of them. And this time, Benjamin was with them. Israel did not trust that this would come out okay. Remember back to his grandpa, Abraham, who regularly lied to people about who his wife was, saying it was his sister, not trusting he was under God's protection, that God had a plan, that God gave him a promise. Remember Isaac and all the things that he was so easily fooled by his wife as to let his younger son make a fool of him and his older son. And now Jacob. Why does Jacob not trust that God is going to make everything okay? Well, because God didn't protect Joseph. He does not know Joseph is alive. He was told by his sons Joseph is dead. He believes that. How's he going to feel when he finds out that's not the truth? That his 12 sons, or his 10 sons, who are honest men, are in fact anything but. How do you feel when someone that you've trusted betrays you? Someone you thought you knew has lied to you many years ago, and now it comes home to roost. See you tomorrow.